Welcome back, 0K fans, to Not Only Is It Done. I remain your host, Fury333, and this is the June 2016 1v1 tournament into round 2. And round 2, I do want to watch SnuggleBass versus ikinz, and apparently we did add in Space Tuna and Ultimate Firestar, or Ultimate Firesta, neither of which have messed up with the match I want to watch. So we are still going to watch SnuggleBass versus ikinz on Tartarus. Yeah, I watched Google Frog last time, so although Google Frog versus Acronym is probably going to be pretty good. No, I don't want to flood it. I want to have different players each time. Alright, so it looks like... Well, I want people in my room. There we go. We have people in my room. So yeah, we will have SnuggleBass and ikinz on Tartarus, because Tartarus is a great map. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So Tartarus is a bit of a smaller map, so I expect these matches will probably not be as long as round 1. Although round 1 wasn't terribly long, it was still a little bit longer. Just because it was kind of... Oops, I need to fix some stuff. Like, it won't be long for people watching on YouTube, that's for sure. So you guys are fine. But at any rate, at this point, still waiting on ikinz. Not sure whether it's taking so long. And looks like Dancer might actually be getting out of the tournament because they're in my time zone and did not sleep early last night. As is generally a good idea to do, as I generally do. Okay, good. SnuggleBass and ikinz are in. And we can get this thing started. Because I would like to get this thing started pretty soon. There have been some issues, some delay issues. Next tournament, we really need to have everyone sorted out and in before the tournament starts. Like, oh, whoops. And it looks like... Okay, so yeah, we're starting up. SnuggleBass and ikinz on Tartarus, which I'm pretty excited about. I think this will be a good match. ikinz is not so confident, but I feel like that's not really... I mean, I think ikinz will probably do fine. I don't think it's going to be a complete mess. I don't think it'll be a wash. And also, yeah, I should probably have pointed out before the results, so I'm waiting for the players to set up. We have King Raptor beat Diamond, Orphelius beat Feltos, Acronym beat Dan, ikinz beat Crudor, Google Frog beat Marquis, which we watched, and SnuggleBass beat Dancer. And Space Tuna and Ultimate Firestar were added in at the last minute and were given a draw so that they would actually get in no problem. Now, back to the game, where the players are still trying to figure out where to place their starting locations. Neither player has yet set up their start. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. Not sure what they're both waiting for. They're both in the game. They just have not set up what they're going to do to start out. Okay, there we go. Maybe ikinz was a bit delayed. Still trying to work it out. SnuggleBass with Recon Commander and Spiderbot Factory, which makes a lot of sense. This map really does favor the Spiderbot Factory. While ikinz, on the other hand, not really set up yet. Still apparently trying to figure out what to do. But yeah, this map, for those not familiar, has plateaus which are not accessible to anything other than spiders or, well, all-terrain or air. So spiders, jump bots, gunships, planes. That's about it. Everything else, no. And ikinz going for Shieldbot Factory. So apparently ikinz will probably be trying to go for a bit more of a direct push on the low ground, while SnuggleBass is going for the spiders to probably take the plateaus in the northwest and southeast. And SnuggleBass starting out with the typical fleas. Probably going to be flea into Weaver, then Venom. So early flea scouts going out. SnuggleBass very quickly getting their base set up, where ikinz went for an economy commander, a sport commander. So taking advantage of that giant build range, where SnuggleBass went for a jump instead, because that's what you do with a recon commander. You jump. Overall, those two commander types are basically the only type seen in 1v1, because you either want to have the mobility, or you want to have the giant build range. I haven't really seen strike commanders up much, except for Rar, where Rar just loves to go for comm morphing. Otherwise, you don't really see that too often. And ikinz going for the bandits as well. ikinz very quickly going for economy, did not really focus much on their military at all. And at this point, I guess, seeing the Spiderbot Factory, ikinz is probably even less weird. We do have Venom coming in. We have a Weaver as well. Exactly as predicted. But yeah, I think ikinz is probably thinking that SnuggleBass is not going to be super aggressive, being that SnuggleBass just has an army of fleas. And an army of fleas does not do all that much, in all honesty. It's really it's scouting, kind of a map hack. Not gonna work out in a fight. Like, if a bandit spots a flea, the flea is dead. Although, for right now, ikinz is actually in a really good spot, because they are going to be able to basically see everything. Which is exactly where you want to be. That's, as usual, that's how fleas work. I'm pretty sure that this is close enough that it will decloak once the... Yeah, there we go. Not even because of the metal extractor. It just starts to attack. Not on hold fire. It was entirely there to attack anything that came up. SnuggleBass aware of ikinz expansion, but I think at this point SnuggleBass probably could have just guessed. It's good to know, but they probably could have guessed. However, ikinz moving in for an attack, and this Lotus could be a bit of a problem. I'm starting to think it might... Well, I don't know. These bandits are too far away from each other for it to actually work out in their favor. If they were closer together, I think the bandits would have been able to deal a bit of damage, but as it is, ikinz is perfectly making the right decision to move back. That's exactly what they need to do. They don't want to be pushing forward. They don't want to be losing those bandits unnecessarily, and they already have lost two. Like, this second one here, it's totally dead. So there's not much more to be said about it. The first one is not terribly in danger. It's okay. It's not going to be doing too badly. And ikinz getting a bit of damage, or potentially a flea trying to come in here to deal some damage. The Lotus will get rid of it. So ikinz gets a scout out there, sees that... Sorry, SnuggleBass gets a scout, sees that ikinz is not building anything up. ikinz, I'm not sure how aware they are of the forces coming in. Not very. Just now see that the fleas are coming, but not the Venom and Redback. ikinz is aware the Venom and Redback are to the eastern side of the map, though, so no real surprises there. SnuggleBass, however, is also aware of this thanks to their own radar. They are aware of the bandits coming in towards the western side of the map, and don't really have a lot of forces to deal with them. The Venoms are there, so that'll help. The Venoms do stun out bandits. Like, one Venom stuns out a bandit. So that won't be a fair fight. The bandits need to get out of the way. They are going to find this expansion here has been complete... Oh no, they're not going up the plateau. They'd actually be able to get away with the lower plateau, but it looks like no. Those bandits want to get away. One of them does get caught out, but overall those bandits do survive. Only a few losses. But ikinz, the problem for them is they are getting behind economically. They are not able to build up as efficiently as they would like. I don't know how much they're focusing on building up at all. It looks like they're building up... ikinz is building up a lot of defenders. Really focused on getting the static defense up. Not really focused on getting actual economy going. And that's going to be a problem. SnuggleBass already with a 5 metal advantage and taking that plateau over the northwest. That'll give them an even larger advantage. And admittedly, this has actually not been bad for ikinz here. a couple one of the Venoms died. Looks like the Redback died as well. Yeah, where's the Venom wreckage? Yeah. Venom's dead. Another Venom's dead. Redback's dead. Yeah, so that's the thing. Why is text-to-speech on? Sorry, anyway, I don't know why the text-to-speech is apparently on. I'll have to check that after the game. But yeah, Venom, Redbacks still being built up for SnuggleBass. ikinz still behind economically, but there is now an opening. ikinz is trying to take advantage of it, more or less, but not really able to do that. Looks like ikinz will just be able to push in. I mean, they can deal a bit of damage. Really, the thing is, right now, these thugs, I don't know if I really agree with that. Shields take a fair amount of damage. Like, they take damage from the paralysis or slow weapons. And 600 paralysis damage here, that's 200 on the shields. So the shields will go down very quickly to the Venoms. I'm a bit surprised that ikinz is not going for rogues instead, given that rogues have the range advantage. I mean, clearly ikinz is trying to go for base assault. I just don't really agree with that, given that Venoms aren't a terrible idea against shields. We do have Racketeers coming up, though. That will help against the Venoms. Why is this flickering? Anyway, that will help against the Venoms. And SnuggleBass will be getting hit over to the northwest. Nice setup, though. Looks like SnuggleBass is expecting an air switch. Bit of a bad read, although admittedly that's reasonable. ikinz would be going for an air switch right now. It is 6 minutes into the game. That's usually when this sort of thing happens. But no, instead just the Thug-Law Ball pushing forward and not going to be able to deal with the north or the plateau, but still able to get rid of 5 metal per second from SnuggleBass. More will need to be done to get rid of the advantage. SnuggleBass getting the southeast as well. That's helping out a lot. And okay, SnuggleBass we already see going for the crab. So there's not much to be said about that. SnuggleBass going for the crab, taking a bit of damage, but not really a whole lot. And ikinz not expanding as much as they should. I'm actually kind of surprised. Where are their workers? I see their commander. I don't see any okay, there's 2 convicts in the main base, being used for additional production and for building solar collectors. Otherwise not being used. There's no one going over here. There's no one going over here. There's no one anywhere. This is just entirely the commander, pretty much. Commander's the only one pushing forward. ikinz very clearly just wants to push, do a hard push into SnuggleBass's base, and this is an all or nothing tactic. This is it. If ikinz fails at this, they are going to resign. And if ikinz succeeds, obviously they're going to win. And okay, I'm not going to wait. Text-to-speech off. I think something changed with the way the text-to-speech works. But yeah, this attack here, I don't know. ikinz might actually hold out for a little while. But more Racketeers are going to be necessary in order for this crab to go down. Because this crab here, well, it's armored up. And of course, that's how it works. And when it armors up, it doesn't take as much damage. And when it doesn't take as much damage, although admittedly, the Racketeer, 1500, yeah, no, it should take 3 shots. So it really is the armor. Yeah, there it is. Without the armor, gets to 1/3 of the stun damage right at, oh, no, really? Ah, it walked right before it got hit. Yeah, once it's armored up, takes a lot more Racketeer shots to get rid of it. And this last one, oh, right before it armors up. So that crab getting stunned out, and ikinz moving in for the kill. Not sure this is going to do much because the Venom Redback swarm here is going to be attacking pretty quickly, and the crab is armored up. So the Venoms and Redbacks moving in to protect their fellow, which is working out relatively well. This is what I mean. The shields just don't last. And once the shields are down, thugs get stunned out. Once the thugs get stunned out, they get killed, and then, of course, that's basically it. I'm really surprised that no rogues have been built yet. I mean, I guess ikinz is going for your standard shield ball thug law build. Normally Felon's with that too, and Felon would work okay. Felon would help out in this whole setup, but thug law on its own does not work in the spider matchup very well just because of Venoms. Venoms counter that outright. It also doesn't help that more crabs are being built, and SnuggleBass just mass producing crabs now because they can. I mean, it takes, what, They're 1600 metal, so 400... Actually, 40 seconds. That's what it is. Yeah. 40 metal in, 40 seconds. SnuggleBass's economic advantage is massive. And on top of that, also setting up for Crab on Aspire. Because why not? I mean, really, there's no reason not to. Although, where'd those Venoms go? Hang on. Those Venoms weren't killed, were they? Oh. How did I miss that? I thought the Venoms weren't killed. Okay, that's really weird. At any rate, the crabs are the real story. The Venom red bag at this point is not what SnuggleBass is worried about. And honestly, ikinz is actually set up to counter the crabs more or less. So this may work out in ikinz's favor. This game is not quite over yet. I mean, definitely a swarm of crabs like this is really hard to deal with. Like, no matter what, despite the fact that ikinz does have the Racketeers and does have the Thug Ball, which does help, this is still really hard to deal with. And doesn't have the energy, and their little widget is going off telling them, make energy. ikinz is having a hard time. SnuggleBass looks like their commander's going to be moving in. Upgraded already has a machine gun, upgrading again. Yeah, I was wondering, like, ikinz has had that widget forever, and it's... Yeah, that's a thing. I don't know if it's actually making a difference. Probably is, though. Probably does help. Not going to cast aspersions on that. I will, however, point out that ikinz does need to make energy. How many Racketeers are up front here? Only the 2. There's 3 more behind. Actually, there's 4 up front. Each of which is locking, or there's pairs locking down crabs. But the crabs are being built faster than they can be killed. And this is the problem here. SnuggleBass has the Racketeers, though they are going down. But the crabs aren't dying. Like, they're taking some damage here and there, but they're not dying. The thugs really aren't dealing enough damage for it to be substantial. And I think it might also almost be a good idea for ikinz to go around the back, try to deal with that. Although, really, the best thing for ikinz to do right now is to get gunship or air. Like, get an air switch so they can actually attack the high ground, because that's where a lot of SnuggleBass's economy is. I mean, these metal extractors are both plus 3.3 or so because of overdrive. And, of course, they're perfectly safe. So that's like 13 metal per second. That's totally safe. That's a huge chunk of SnuggleBass's advantage right now. Obviously, the rest of it is still on the ground. But a huge chunk of the advantage is on the high areas, the plateaus. And ikinz is just not dealing with that. They're so focused on the front line. I mean, right now, yes, huge crab pressure. Makes sense. But the entire game, ikinz has been focused on the front line. Has been just completely laser focused on it with absolutely no consideration for anything to the sides to getting rid of the economy, despite the fact that they're playing against spiders, and spiders will take the northeast and southwest. Sorry, northwest and southeast, because that is what they do. That's why you go spiders on this map. It's a bit harder to take the flat sections, but a lot easier to take the plateaus. Loads easier to take the plateaus. And at this point, ikinz still holding on, still valiantly trying to do their best to stay in here. Going for spiders themselves, I'm not sure why. I'm guessing infiltrators. That would make sense. If ikinz is going for mass infiltrator, just stun out the crabs and then rush in with, I don't know, redbacks wouldn't be a bad idea. That would make sense, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And ikinz pointing out they did e-stall. Yeah, they e-stall a lot. I mean, that explains why they have that widget there. It's just... Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like... There's got to be something better than a widget to remind you, like some sort of practice technique you could do that would actually get it in your head to always keep your energy up. Because that's clearly an issue that ikinz had. I mean, SnuggleBass... ikinz had the economy just plateau for energy. SnuggleBass kept going. And same with metal. Actually, ikinz went up gradually, but SnuggleBass got all the expansions to the northwest and southeast. And that's just how it goes. Once you get those expansions over to the corners, your opponent has to deal with them, and unless they terraform, that means getting air or all-terrain units. Overall, though, I think it really just came down to once that economy advantage was established. That was it, really. These corners are super important. It also didn't help that SnuggleBass basically set up ikinz so that ikinz felt like they had to go for the strong units. I would not recommend thugs, though. I would have recommended rogues, and I mentioned that during the cast proper. Rogues, because they have the range advantage on the venoms, can just hit them. It's like, it's not quite as powerful as Rocco's because the shot arcs rather than going straight, so they don't hit the venoms as easily as the venoms are moving. But overall, having that range advantage compared to the shields, which are vulnerable to EMP, that's definitely not the best way to go. But at any rate, SnuggleBass took that match, and it looks like that is also one of the last matches to be played. It would seem quite a few of the remaining matches have already been played. We have this point. Wait. Oh, no game. Just failed us one against Crudor. Did Crudor leave? That's kind of weird. At any rate, we have... So SnuggleBass just beat ikinz, Google Frog and Acronym still going on, Orpheus and King Raptor still going on. Failthos winning against Crudor, but not sure why there's no match listed. Marquis beating North Chilean G. Dan won against Ultimate Firestar, and Dynefriend against Space Tuna. So both the people at the last minute, unfortunately for them, losing their first matches. But there are 5 rounds, so it's not over yet. Even round 2 isn't over yet. Looks like... Well, it looks like the Failthos and... Not Failthos, what is it? Is Failthos and Dancer? Oh, never mind. Failthos and Dancer are just practicing between rounds. That makes sense. So at this point, we're just waiting for Orpheus and King Raptor and Google Frog and Acronym, and both of those games are about halfway through. At any rate, it's probably going to be a bit of a delay, I'm afraid. Because at this point, the games being as far through as they are, I'm probably not going to switch over to them. So we'll be back in a few minutes once round 3 starts. So stay tuned for that.